I had some thoughts while listening to Revilo P. Oliver's What We Owe Our Parasite. And this is something I wrote after listening to how he thought, leaving Washington and D.C. in 1945, that the destruction of the Jewish presence in this country was assured, that the cultural Marxists and communist collaborators would be exposed, and then by 1952, the Jews would all be expelled from this country, running, scurrying for the boats that would carry them to safety, safe from the vengeance of the American people. That didn't happen, and I realized why my campaign for Senate, my Jew naming after that, my going onto the streets and just naming the Jew, leaning into them, why that inspired so many people. And so I've read this now to try and capture the spirit of the time, and perhaps understand now why I've lost so much of my effectiveness. So this is what I wrote. I understand now why my Senate campaign resonated with the disaffected, why my tour of the summer that followed inspired so many. It was a suicidal charge, something our people desperately needed to see. A mad bull charging into a machine gun, hoping to inspire the rest of the cattle to stampede those predators that now herd and parasitize from us. For I understood the urgency, the hopelessness of our people, should they not wake up, knowing that life under the yoke of the Jews, as they continuously make things worse for us, would not be worth living. When I first woke up to what I ascertained to be the plight of this country and white people, I realized there was almost no time left, and I felt a surge of urgency, and I went into action. The burst of energy got me onto the anonymous boards, and the others, so aware of our decline, had a champion, charging as a bull, a forlorn hope, a man charging the enemy. The threats came, along with other pressures, and my wife gave me the ultimatum to get out of politics or else we would be divorced. The Jews remaining in power left my imagination no ability to conceive of a life worth living while Jews were still in power. Wife and kids are not, so I continued my mad charge. After my wife got on a plane and made clear to me that we would be divorced, I doubled down. I put out the call for someone to assist me, to come and be a walking dead man with me, a man to join me on my suicidal mission to save our race. And Mark Reardon, also known as a legal Aryan, answered the call. We then went around the country naming the Jew, provoking the beast which snarled and pawed at the soil, snorting, screaming out in pain for the deplatforming to continue, for the naming of the Jew to cease. Attacked repeatedly, I continued on, less caring about my individual well-being than ever before, not having to worry about leaving a spouse behind. And how I leaned into the Jews. It was beautiful, and the Jews had no idea what to do as the Jew naming tour continued, so they decided to ignore me after a while. And then I returned to California to move out of the apartment and say goodbye to my spouse that I would pick up from the airport on her way back from her time in Europe that summer, and bring her to the place where she would from that time on dwell alone. But on the drive home we reconciled, and I have not been leaning into the enemy at the levels I was ever since. We need men with the spirit of the martyr standing up to the Jews who show the kikes that we are not afraid of them. And I don't know if I can still be this man. I've lost some of that gust of wind that was at my back, and now I have responsibility again to others. It was the right thing to do what I did, naming the Jew as I did, leaning into them and focusing on them. That is the way forward. These Jews need to be named. They need to be named to high heaven. They need to be named until they're running for their fucking lives for what they've done to our peoples and thousands of other peoples. We need to literally terrify these fucking Jews that have ruined our country and that are targeting white people all around the world. We have no choice. It is the obligation to those of our children that are still immature, that are already born, and those that are yet to be born. The last few days, my thinking of how bad the Jewish problem is really taking the red pill as to how bad the Jews fucked over the Greeks, how the Jews fucked over the Egyptians, how the Jews even tried to fuck over China and Japan. And if you read Revilo P. Oliver, you'll understand what I'm talking about. These Jews have destroyed civilization after civilization after civilization, and we won't be the last. They'll finish off China and they'll finish off Japan when they finish with us. We have to destroy Jewishness. There must be no shred of Jewishness left on this world if anything beautiful is to survive the test of time. If intelligent life is to survive the useful life of our son, Jewishness must be ended. Join me. Figure out the way you can name the Jew. Find that energy that I found back when I ran against Feinstein. Get out there and name those fucking kites.